Welcome to the Board of Supervisors reorganization meeting for Monday, January 6th. I'm going to call the 2025 organizational meeting to order. Everyone here, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to read the roll call. Supervisor McCartney.
Present.
Supervisor Grenier.
Here.
Supervisor Ross.
Here.
Supervisor Blendy.
Here.
And with that, I'm going to pass the gavel to Maureen Carlton, our Township Supervisor, who will assume the remaining duties of the meeting. Solicitor.
Thank you very much, Supervisor. At this time, the agenda calls for the election of chair of the Board of Supervisors by the Chair Pro Tem, which is me, for a very, very short period of time. At this time, we'll accept a nomination for the chair of the Board of Supervisors for Lower Makefield Township for 2025.
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate Supervisor Grenier for chair.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Wonderful. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. So the motion was made by Supervisor Lewis, seconded by Supervisor Blendy, I believe. And all in favor? Congratulations, Supervisor Grenier. I will pass that along.
I get to move over, see. Yeah. Huh? Oh, sorry.
All right. With that, I'll move on to agenda item 5, I guess, which are remarks by the new chair. We like to keep these meetings short and sweet, so first and foremost, I'll just like to say thank you to my fellow board members for putting me in this position. It is not a one to be taken lightly. Thank you to Supervisor Lewis for a good 2024 and leading us in the right direction. I think everyone sitting at this board and who watches these meetings knows that we have a lot of items to cover in 2025. We have a lot of studies going on related to the budget, fire services, stormwater management, infrastructure. A lot of big stuff coming up that we have to pay attention to, be thoughtful about. We also have to find a new chief of police, which is no small task too. We have RFPs for professional services coming up that we have to get through, and there's always new and interesting land developments and other policy issues that come up that we have to address. So looking forward to working with this team for another positive year in 2025. And I'll leave it out. And that's all I have to say about that. All right, let's move on to agenda item 6, election of other officers. 6A is consider selecting a vice chair of the Board of Supervisors for 2025. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to nominate John Lewis for vice chair.
Have a second? I will second.
I thought you said you were seconding, sorry. Second.
Oh, you did say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. So, motion made by Supervisor Ross, seconded by Supervisor Blendy. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Welcome.
Thank you.
Next up, item 6B is consider selecting a secretary of the Board of Supervisors for 2025.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Supervisor McCartney.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. I'll call to question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Mr. Secretary. With that, next up, I have item 6C, consider selecting a treasurer of the board for 2025.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Supervisor Ross for treasurer.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, Mr. Treasurer. And Supervisor Blendy will be a super member this year, so thank you. And let's see, 6D is consider selecting an assistant secretary treasurer for 2025. entertain a motion for Assistant Secretary Treasurer.
Mr. Chair, I move to nominate our Township Manager as the Assistant Secretary Treasurer for 2025, Mr. David Kratzer.
All right, do I hear a second?
Second?
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
None opposed? There we go. All right, then let's see, we're on to, make sure I'm on that right. Item number 7, which is appoint the Chair of the Lower Makefield Township Vacancy Board. Do I hear a recommendation for that?
I'll move to nominate Adrian Costello as vacancy chair.
Second.
Second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Mr. Costello, thank you again for your service. If you're watching.
I think they're in Colorado.
All right, he will be notified. Let's see, item number 8, professional services, item 8A, consider appointment of solicitor for 2025. Would anyone like to make a motion on that?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Ms. Carlton and Curtin and Hefner as solicitor for 2025.
All right,
Second.
all right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, hearing none opposed, welcome back. Item 8B, we have three different engineering positions that we address here. 8B1 is the Township Engineer. Here we have it listed as an interim appointment, but that would have to be part of the motion. Do I hear a motion to appoint an engineer for the township this year?
Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Remington Vernick Engineers as the interim Township Engineer.
Second?
That's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any
Opposed.
Okay, motion carries 4-1. Thank you. Item 8B2, we still have this on the list. Sewer engineer, entertain a motion to appoint a sewer engineer.
Mr. Chair, I move that we appoint Ewert Engineering as our sewer engineer.
Second?
Quick question to our township manager.
Sure.
Since we no longer own the sewer system, would this, how much do we have for services relative to our sewer?
So relatively limited in terms of services. The one sort of larger substantive issue relates to the Act 537 special study to be able to transfer the permit from the township to Aqua. And so you may have even seen some discussion online about that. That's nearing the finish line at this point. There have been submissions to the department. There were required submissions to both, I believe, Yardley and Falls as well, to their planning commissions for their review and recommendation. So that is sort of nearing completion at this point. Beyond that, as the board is aware, the township does have a program related to the inspection of sanitary sewer laterals, which are private facilities that are inspected prior to the sale of homes. That is ongoing work, but again, as the board sort of proceeds forward and we get through the permit transfer, that's something that either can stay with Ebert or there could be evaluation of other options as it relates to that issue. But there are the largest sort of substantive issue is that permit transfer at this point. So we would recommend the reappointment of Ebert, recognizing how close we are to the conclusion of that process.
Okay, appreciate that. So we have a motion and a second. I'll call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, motion carries 5-0. And item 8B3, the traffic engineer.
Mr. Chair, I move that we appoint Safe Engineering as our interim traffic engineer.
Second?
All right. With that, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All right, hearing none opposed. Safe is our interim traffic engineer. All right, moving on to item number 9, we have public comment for non-agenda items. I don't see any in the room. Anyone online? I don't see the light on. All right, so no public comment. Item number 10, other business. board member have other business? All right.
Excuse
Oh.
me, Supervisor, or Mr. Chairman, excuse me. I'd like to announce that the supervisors present this evening will plan to meet an executive session immediately after this reorganizational meeting to discuss employment personnel issues.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see, item number 11 is the announcement of supervisor liaison assignments for 2025. So with that, I made a list based on the active committees that we have. Let's see, Mr. Lewis, I have you on, and if anyone has an issue with these, please, we can talk about it after, see if we need to change anything. But Mr. Lewis, Disability Advisory Board, the Environmental Advisory Committee, the Human Relations Commission, and the Veterans Committee. Mr. McCartney, we have you with the Electricity Reliability Committee, the Golf Committee, Park and Rec, and Citizens Traffic. Mr. Ross, we have HARB, Patterson Farm Master Plan Implementation Committee, Farmland Preservation and Historical Commission. Ms. Blundy, we got EMAC, Trenton Mercer Airport Review Panel, and the Zoning Hearing Board. Myself, I'm doing the Board of Auditors, Emergency Management, Planning Commission, and hopefully what will be a relatively short-lived Stormwater Management Committee that we formed separately to review the ordinance. And with that, that should cover all the committees that we have right now. Let's see. And Mr. Kratzer, if you need a list, I can give you
Yeah,
a list.
that
I
would be,
figured
that would be
helpful
perfect.
for you.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah. And then item 12 is consider establishing the amount of the treasurer's bond at $2 million. Can I get a motion? on
Mr.
that?
Chair, so moved.
Second?
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
right, motion carries. Item 13, consider establishing the amount of the assistant treasurer's bond at $2 million. All
So moved.
Second?
those in favor?
Aye.
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 With that, I will officially adjourn our first meeting of the year. Have a good night.